focused on developing your own capabilities. Frustration is also an excellent diagnostic tool for identifying areas where you need to develop new skills or strategies. If you keep getting frustrated by the same types of situations, it's usually because you're trying to solve new problems with old approaches. The frustration is telling you that it's time to upgrade your capabilities. Anxiety and worry are forward-looking emotions that most people experience as pure torture. But anxiety contains important planning information about potential challenges you need to prepare for. Instead of trying to eliminate anxiety, use it as a strategic planning tool. What specifically are you worried about? What would you need to do to address those concerns? How can you prepare for the challenges you're anticipating? The key is to transform vague anxiety into specific action plans. Most anxiety is caused by unclear threats and uncertain timelines. When you force yourself to get specific about what you're worried about and what you can do about it, anxiety often transforms into useful preparation. Worry becomes productive when it leads to preparation and counterproductive when it leads to rumination. The difference is action. Productive worry asks, "What can I do to prepare for this potential problem?" Counterproductive worry asks, "What if this terrible thing happens?" Over and over, without generating any useful responses. Guilt and shame are perhaps the most painful emotions to experience, but they also contain some of the most important information about your values and integrity. Guilt tells you when your actions don't align with your values. Shame tells you when your behavior doesn't align with your identity. Both emotions are painful precisely because they indicate misalignment between who you are and who you want to be. Instead of trying to escape guilt and shame, use them as course correction signals. What do these emotions tell you about what you value? What changes do you need to make to better align your actions with your values? How can you use this information to become more consistent with your highest self? The key to transforming any negative emotion is to approach it with curiosity rather than resistance. Instead of asking, "How can I make this feeling go away?" ask, "What is this feeling trying to tell me? How can I use this energy productively? What action can I take that honors the message while moving me toward my goals?" This transformation requires practice and patience. Your habitual response to negative emotions has been reinforced over many years, and it won't change overnight. But every time you choose to transform, rather than suppress or indulge a negative emotion, you build the neural pathways that make this process more automatic. The goal is not to become someone who never experiences negative emotions. The goal is to become someone who can quickly and effectively transform those emotions into fuel for positive action. When you master this skill, you'll discover that setbacks become setups, obstacles become opportunities, and the very experiences that break most people become the experiences that make you stronger. Chapter 10. Building Unshakable Confidence Through Emotional Mastery. Confidence is not what most people think it is. It's not the absence of doubt or fear. It's not the belief that you'll never fail or face challenges. It's not the feeling that you're better than other people or that success is guaranteed. Real confidence is something much deeper and more powerful than any of these surface-level definitions. True confidence is the unshakable knowledge that you can handle whatever life throws at you. It's the quiet certainty that you have the emotional tools, mental frameworks, and inner resources to navigate any challenge, setback, or uncertainty that comes your way. It's not about never falling down. It's about knowing you can always get back up. This kind of confidence can only be built through one process: repeatedly facing difficult situations and proving to yourself that you can handle them with grace and effectiveness. You cannot think your way to confidence. You cannot affirm your way to confidence. You cannot fake your way to confidence. You can only build confidence through evidence, and evidence comes from action. But here's what most people get wrong about building confidence. They think they need to wait until they feel confident before they take action. They think confidence is a prerequisite for facing challenges rather than a result of facing challenges. This backwards thinking keeps them trapped in cycles of self-doubt and limitation because they're waiting for a feeling that can only come from doing the very things they're afraid to do. The confidence-building process works in reverse. You take action despite feeling uncertain or afraid. You handle the situation better than you expected. You extract the lessons and grow stronger. Your brain updates its assessment of your capabilities. Your confidence increases. Then you're ready to take on slightly bigger challenges, and the cycle continues. This is why emotional mastery is the foundation of unshakable confidence. When you know you can control your reactions regardless of what happens. When you know you can stay calm under pressure. When you know you can think clearly, even when emotions are running high. You develop an inner certainty that makes you nearly impossible to shake. Most people's confidence is built on external factors that they can't control. They feel confident when things are going well, when other people approve of them, when they're successful by conventional standards. But this kind of confidence is fragile because it depends on circumstances that can change at any moment. Real confidence is built on internal factors that you can control. The first pillar of unshakable confidence is emotional self-reliance. This is the knowledge that your emotional state is not dependent on other people's behavior, external circumstances, or unpredictable events. You know that you can generate the emotional states you need through your own thoughts, actions, and practices. You don't need other people to make you feel good about yourself. And you don't let other people's negativity drag you down. Emotional self-reliance is built through consistent practice of the emotional regulation techniques you've learned. Every time you successfully manage your emotional state during a challenging situation, you prove to yourself that you have this capability. Every time you choose your response rather than reacting automatically, you build evidence that you're in control of your inner experience. This doesn't mean you become emotionally disconnected from others or that you don't care about relationships. It means you engage with others from a position of strength rather than neediness. You contribute to relationships rather than draining them. You're able to be genuinely supportive of others because you're not constantly seeking support for yourself. The second pillar of unshakable confidence is competence building. Confidence without competence is just delusion. You need to actually be good at things that matter. You need to develop real skills, real knowledge, and real abilities that create genuine value in the world. But competence building is not just about technical skills. It's about developing the meta skills that make you effective in any domain. Problem solving is perhaps the most important meta skill for building confidence. When you know you can figure things out, when you have a systematic approach to breaking down complex challenges and finding solutions, you become much more willing to take on difficult situations. You're not intimidated by unfamiliar problems because you trust your ability to learn and adapt. Communication is another crucial meta skill. When you can express your ideas clearly, listen effectively, and navigate difficult conversations with skill, you become much more confident in social and professional situations. You're not afraid of conflict because you know how to handle it constructively. You're not intimidated by authority figures because you know how to communicate with respect while maintaining your own dignity. Learning agility is the meta skill that makes all other skills possible. This is your ability to quickly acquire new knowledge and capabilities as situations require. When you know you can learn anything you need to learn, you're not limited by your current knowledge base. You become confident about taking on challenges that require skills you don't yet have because you trust your ability to develop those skills. The third pillar of unshakable confidence is integrity alignment. This is the consistency between your values, your words, and your actions. When these three elements are aligned, you develop an inner strength that makes you nearly impossible to shake because you know you're living authentically. When they're misaligned, you feel weak and uncertain because you're not sure who you really are or what you really stand for. Most people compromise their integrity gradually through small decisions that seem insignificant at the time. They tell little lies to avoid discomfort. They make commitments they don't intend to keep. They act in ways that contradict their stated values. Each compromise weakens their inner foundation and erodes their confidence. Building integrity alignment requires ruthless honesty about what you actually value versus what you think you should value. It requires making your word mean something by only making commitments you intend to keep. It requires having the courage to act in accordance with your values, even when it's difficult or costly. When your integrity is intact, you develop what I call unshakable presence. People can sense that you're authentic, that you're not trying to be someone you're not, that you're comfortable with who you are. This presence is magnetic and creates opportunities that are not available to people who are constantly trying to impress others or fit in. The fourth pillar of unshakable confidence is resilience building. This is your track record of recovering from setbacks, learning from failures, and coming back stronger from difficult experiences. Every time you face adversity and emerge better than before, you build evidence that challenges don't break you, they make you stronger. Most people try to avoid adversity, but this actually weakens their confidence because they never prove to themselves that they can handle difficult situations. They remain fragile and fearful because they have no evidence of their own resilience. Building unshakable confidence requires deliberately seeking challenges that test your limits and force you to grow. This doesn't mean being reckless or seeking unnecessary suffering. It means choosing growth over comfort, challenge over security, and expansion over safety. It means taking on projects that scare you, having conversations you've been avoiding, and pursuing goals that require you to become more than you currently are. The key is to approach these challenges with the right mindset. You're not trying to prove that you're already perfect. You're trying to prove that you can learn and grow. You're not trying to never fail. You're trying to prove that you can recover from failure. You're not trying to avoid all mistakes. You're trying to prove that you can learn from mistakes and use them to become better. The fifth pillar of unshakable confidence is future orientation. This is your ability to make decisions based on who you're becoming rather than who you are right now. It's the understanding that your current limitations are temporary and that your potential for growth is virtually unlimited. When you operate from this perspective, present challenges become stepping stones rather than roadblocks. Most people are trapped by their past experiences and current limitations. They think, "I'm not good at public speaking," or "I'm not a leader," or "I'm not confident enough for that opportunity." This fixed mindset keeps them stuck because they base their decisions on current capabilities rather than future potential. Building future orientation requires regularly visualizing the person you're becoming and making decisions from that future identity. Ask yourself, What would the confident version of me do in this situation? Then do that thing. Even if you don't feel ready, act as if you're already the person you want to become. And eventually, you will become that person. The sixth pillar of unshakable confidence is contribution focus. This is the shift from asking, "What can I get?" to asking, "What can I give?" When you focus on how you can add value, solve problems, and help others succeed, you become less self-conscious and more naturally confident. You're not worried about being judged because you're focused on being useful. Most confidence issues stem from excessive self-focus. When you're constantly worried about how you look, what other people think, whether you're measuring up, you create anxiety and self-doubt. But when you shift your focus to how you can contribute, serve, and add value, these self-focused concerns naturally fade into the background. This doesn't mean neglecting your own needs or becoming a doormat. It means approaching situations with a service mindset rather than a self-protection mindset. Instead of thinking, "I hope I don't embarrass myself," think, "How can I help this meeting be productive?" Instead of thinking, "I hope they like me," think, "How can I be genuinely useful to this person?" The final element of building unshakable confidence through emotional mastery is developing what I call evidence awareness. This is the practice of consciously recognizing and remembering your successes, growth, and progress, rather than focusing only on your failures and limitations. Most people have a negativity bias that causes them to remember failures more vividly than successes, and to discount their achievements while magnifying their mistakes. This mental pattern systematically undermines confidence by creating a distorted view of their actual track record. Combat this bias by keeping a success journal where you record daily wins, no matter how small. Document challenges you've overcome, skills you've developed, and positive feedback you've received. Review this evidence regularly to maintain an accurate picture of your capabilities and progress. Building unshakable confidence is not about becoming arrogant or believing you're better than others. It's about developing an accurate assessment of your capabilities and a realistic optimism about your potential for continued growth. It's about knowing that you can handle whatever comes your way, not because nothing bad will ever happen, but because you have the tools to deal with whatever does happen. When you combine emotional mastery with competence building, integrity alignment, resilience development, future orientation, contribution focus, and evidence awareness, you create a foundation of confidence that cannot be shaken by external circumstances. You become the kind of person who stays calm in chaos, who sees opportunity in adversity, and who inspires others through your unshakable presence and authentic strength. Chapter 11. The Art of Strategic Non-Reaction in Relationships. Relationships are where emotional control matters most, and where most people fail most spectacularly. You can master your emotions in every other area of your life. But if you lose control with the people closest to you, you'll sabotage the very relationships that matter most. The people who love you see you at your worst, when you're tired, stressed, and emotionally depleted. This is when your true level of emotional mastery is revealed. Most relationship conflicts are not about the surface issue being discussed. They're about underlying emotional patterns, unmet needs, and unconscious triggers that both people are reacting to without awareness. When you learn to not react emotionally during relationship conflicts, you can address the real issues instead of getting caught in endless cycles of blame, defensiveness, and escalation. The first principle of relationship emotional mastery is understanding that every interaction is a choice between connection and control. When you're emotionally reactive, you're choosing control. You're trying to make the other person wrong, to prove your point, to defend your position. But when you choose non-reaction, you're choosing connection. You're prioritizing the relationship over being right. This doesn't mean becoming a doormat or accepting unacceptable behavior. It means responding to problematic situations in ways that preserve dignity and create possibilities for resolution, rather than just venting your emotional reactions. It means being strong enough to stay calm when the other person is losing control. The second principle is taking responsibility for your 50% of every interaction. You cannot control the other person's words, actions, or emotional state. But you have complete control over your response to their words, actions, and emotional state. When you focus on controlling your 50%, instead of trying to control their 50%, you become incredibly powerful in relationships. Most people spend their relationship energy trying to change, fix, or control their partner, children, or friends. This is exhausting and ineffective because you're trying to control things that are outside your control. When you redirect that energy toward managing your own responses, you become a calming, stabilizing force that actually influences others to be their best selves. The third principle is learning to de-escalate rather than escalate conflicts. When someone is emotionally activated, your natural tendency might be to match their energy level. They raise their voice, so you raise yours. They become critical, so you become defensive. They withdraw, so you pursue. This unconscious mirroring amplifies the conflict instead of resolving it. Strategic non-reaction means consciously choosing to lower the emotional temperature of interactions. Speak more quietly when they speak loudly. Become more curious when they become critical. Give space when they're overwhelmed. This counterintuitive approach often breaks the negative pattern and creates space for actual communication. The fourth principle is separating the person from their behavior. When someone you care about does something hurtful or frustrating, your emotional reaction tends to globalize the behavior. Instead of thinking, they did something inconsiderate, you think they are an inconsiderate person. This generalization makes it much harder to maintain emotional equilibrium and find constructive solutions. Practice seeing difficult behavior as information about the other person's current state rather than evidence of their permanent character. Maybe they're stressed, tired, overwhelmed, or dealing with something you don't know about. This doesn't excuse poor behavior, but it helps you respond with wisdom rather than reactive emotion. The fifth principle is mastering the pause. In heated moments, there's enormous pressure to respond immediately. Silence feels uncomfortable, and you feel compelled to defend, explain, or counterattack right away. But the pause is where your power lies. It's where you can choose your response instead of being controlled by your impulses. Practice saying, "I need a moment to think about that," or "Let me consider what you're saying," or simply taking 3 deep breaths before responding. These small pauses can completely change the trajectory of a conversation and often prevent conflicts that would have taken days or weeks to repair. The most advanced relationship skill is emotional Aikido. This is the ability to redirect someone else's emotional energy rather than absorbing it or fighting against it. When someone is angry at you, instead of getting defensive or angry back, you acknowledge their feelings and redirect the conversation toward solutions. When someone is criticizing you, instead of justifying your actions, you thank them for their perspective and ask for their suggestions. This approach requires tremendous emotional strength because it goes against every instinct to defend yourself when you feel attacked. But it's incredibly effective because it de-energizes conflict and redirects the interaction toward cooperation instead of competition. Remember, you cannot control whether other people choose to be emotionally reactive, but you can control whether you join them in that reactivity. When you consistently choose non-reaction in relationships, you become a source of stability and peace that others gravitate toward. You become the person others turn to during difficult times because they know you won't add to the chaos. Chapter 12. Emotional leadership and influence. Leadership is fundamentally about emotional influence. Your ability to inspire, motivate, and guide others depends far more on your emotional mastery than on your technical skills or positional authority. People follow leaders who make them feel confident, capable, and valued. They resist leaders who create anxiety, frustration, or self-doubt, regardless of how smart or experienced those leaders might be. The most powerful form of leadership is emotional modeling. People learn more from what you do than from what you say, especially when it comes to emotional responses. When you remain calm under pressure, others feel permission to be calm. When you respond to setbacks with resilience and problem-solving, others learn to do the same. When you treat difficulties as challenges rather than catastrophes, you teach others to adopt that perspective. This means that every emotional choice you make as a leader is not just about you. It's about the emotional culture you're creating for everyone around you. Your team, your family, your organization will tend to mirror your emotional patterns. If you're reactive, they'll become reactive. If you're anxious, they'll become anxious. If you're calm and solution-focused, they'll adopt those qualities. The first skill of emotional leadership is creating psychological safety. This is the feeling that people can express ideas, ask questions, admit mistakes, and show vulnerability without fear of judgment, punishment, or rejection. Psychological safety is created through your emotional responses to other people's imperfections and uncertainties. When someone makes a mistake, your first response sets the tone. If you react with anger, blame, or criticism, you teach everyone to hide their mistakes and avoid taking risks. If you respond with curiosity about what can be learned and focus on preventing similar mistakes in the future, you create an environment where people feel safe to be honest and innovative. The second skill is emotional contagion management. Emotions are literally contagious through mirror neuron activity and social conditioning. When you walk into a room, your emotional state influences everyone else's emotional state, often unconsciously. This gives you enormous power to influence the energy and productivity of any group. Before entering important interactions, consciously choose the emotional state you want to transmit. If you want the meeting to be productive and collaborative, embody those qualities yourself. If you want your team to feel confident about a challenging project, make sure you genuinely feel and express confidence. If you want your family to feel peaceful and connected, bring that energy to your interactions. The third skill is strategic emotional authenticity. This doesn't mean expressing every emotion you feel without filter. It means being genuine about your emotional state while choosing expressions that serve the situation and the people involved. You can be authentically concerned about a problem while expressing that concern in ways that motivate rather than discourage. Sometimes authenticity means sharing your vulnerabilities and uncertainties to create connection and trust. Other times it means projecting strength and confidence to help others feel secure. The key is matching your emotional expression to what the situation requires while remaining true to your core values and character. The fourth skill is conflict transformation. Most people either avoid conflict or handle it poorly. But leaders must be able to navigate disagreements and tensions in ways that strengthen rather than damage relationships. This requires seeing conflict as information about differing perspectives and unmet needs, rather than as personal attacks or character defects. When conflict arises, your emotional response determines whether it becomes destructive or constructive. If you remain calm, curious, and focused on understanding different viewpoints, you can often transform conflicts into breakthrough conversations that lead to better solutions and stronger relationships. The fifth skill is empathetic leadership without emotional absorption. You need to be able to understand and relate to other people's emotional experiences without taking on their emotional states as your own. This means you can be compassionate towards someone who's anxious without becoming anxious yourself. You can be supportive of someone who's going through difficulties without being dragged down by their problems. This balance requires strong emotional boundaries and a clear sense of your own emotional identity. You care about others deeply, but you don't lose yourself in their emotional experiences. You provide stability and support precisely because you maintain your own emotional center. The ultimate goal of emotional leadership is creating what I call an upward emotional spiral. This is when your emotional mastery inspires others to develop their own emotional mastery, which creates a positive feedback loop that elevates everyone's performance and well-being. Instead of managing other people's emotions, you're developing their capacity to manage their own emotions. This happens when you consistently model emotional intelligence, provide tools and frameworks for emotional development, celebrate emotional growth in others, and create environments where emotional mastery is valued and rewarded. Over time, you build teams, families, and organizations that are emotionally resilient, highly productive, and deeply fulfilling to be part of. Chapter 13. Creating your personal emotional operating system. Everything you've learned means nothing unless you create a systematic approach to implementing it in your daily life. Most people consume information about emotional control but never develop the consistent practices that turn knowledge into automatic behavior. They understand the concepts intellectually, but continue operating from old emotional patterns because they haven't created new systems to replace the old ones. Your emotional operating system is the set of daily practices, environmental designs, and response protocols that make emotional mastery your default mode, rather than something you have to consciously remember to do. Just like a computer operating system runs in the background and manages all the basic functions automatically, your emotional operating system should manage your emotional responses automatically. The first component is your daily emotional fitness routine. Just like physical fitness requires regular exercise, emotional fitness requires regular practice. This doesn't need to be complicated or time-consuming, but it does need to be consistent. 5 to 10 minutes of focused emotional training every day will create more transformation than hours of sporadic effort. Your routine should include some form of mindfulness or meditation practice to strengthen your awareness of emotional states as they arise. It should include breathing exercises to train your nervous system to respond to stress with calm rather than reactivity. It should include some form of cognitive work, like journaling or reflection, to identify patterns and plan improvements. The second component is environmental design for emotional success. Your physical and social environment has an enormous impact on your emotional state, often without your conscious awareness. If you're constantly exposed to negative news, chaotic spaces, or emotionally reactive people, you'll find it much harder to maintain emotional equilibrium regardless of your skills and intentions. Audit your environment ruthlessly. What inputs are you consuming through media, social media, books and conversations? What does your physical space communicate about calm and order versus chaos and stress? Who are you spending time with? And how do they influence your emotional state? Make changes that support the emotional state you want to maintain. The third component is trigger identification and response planning. You need to become intimately familiar with your personal emotional triggers and have specific strategies ready for each one. This is not about avoiding triggers, which is impossible and counterproductive, but about having planned responses that align with your values and goals. Keep a trigger journal for 2 weeks. Every time you have an emotional reaction, write down what triggered it, what you felt, how you responded, and what you wish you had done differently. Look for patterns in the types of situations, people, and circumstances that tend to activate you. Then develop specific response strategies for each category of trigger. The fourth component is recovery protocols. You need systematic ways to restore your emotional equilibrium after challenging situations or periods of high stress. Without effective recovery protocols, emotional challenges accumulate and eventually overwhelm your capacity to maintain control. Your recovery toolkit should include immediate techniques you can use in the moment, short-term practices you can implement within hours of a stressful event, and longer-term restoration practices for recovering from extended periods of high stress or emotional challenge. Have these ready before you need them, not after. The fifth component is accountability and measurement systems. You need ways to track your progress, identify areas for improvement, and maintain motivation during difficult periods. This could be as simple as a daily rating of your emotional control on a scale of 1 to 10, or as sophisticated as keeping detailed logs of specific situations and responses. The key is having objective measures of progress rather than relying on feelings, which can be unreliable indicators of actual improvement. You might feel like you're not making progress even when you're actually improving significantly, or you might feel like you're doing well when you're actually sliding backwards. The sixth component is continuous learning and adaptation. Your emotional operating system should evolve as you grow and as your life circumstances change. What works in your 20s might not work in your 40s. What works when you're single might not work when you're married with children. What works during stable periods might not work during major life transitions. Schedule regular reviews of your emotional operating system. What's working well? What needs adjustment? What new challenges are you facing that require new strategies? What feedback are you getting from others about your emotional patterns? Use this information to continuously refine and improve your approach. The final component is integration with your larger life systems. Your emotional operating system cannot be separate from your other life management systems. It needs to be integrated with your goal-setting process, your time management approach, your relationship strategies, and your career development plans. This means making emotional considerations part of every major decision you make. Before taking on new responsibilities, consider the emotional demands they'll create. Before entering new relationships, consider how they'll impact your emotional well-being. Before pursuing new goals, consider what emotional skills you'll need to develop to achieve them successfully. Remember, the goal is not to create a perfect system that never needs adjustment. The goal is to create a robust system that makes emotional mastery easier and more automatic while remaining flexible enough to adapt to changing circumstances. Your emotional operating system should serve you, not constrain you. Chapter 14. Advanced Applications in High-Stakes Environments. The ultimate test of your emotional mastery comes in high-stakes environments, where the consequences of losing control are severe and immediate. These are situations where careers can be destroyed with a single emotional outburst, where relationships can be permanently damaged by one reactive moment, where opportunities worth millions of dollars can be lost because someone couldn't manage their anxiety or anger. High-stakes environments reveal the difference between intellectual understanding of emotional control and true embodied mastery. When everything is on the line, when you're being tested beyond your comfort zone, when the pressure is intense and the stakes are real, your true level of emotional development becomes clear. The first category of high-stakes environments is crisis management. When something goes seriously wrong, when there's immediate danger or significant loss, when people are looking to you for leadership and stability, your emotional response sets the tone for everyone else's response. Panic is contagious, but so is calm competence. In crisis situations, the ability to think clearly while others are losing their minds becomes a superpower. While everyone else is being hijacked by their amygdala, you remain connected to your prefrontal cortex. While others are reacting to the emotional intensity of the situation, you're focusing on the practical steps needed to address the actual problems. This requires advanced preparation. You cannot develop crisis emotional management skills during the crisis. You develop them during calm periods through visualization, stress inoculation training, and practice with smaller challenges. By the time the real crisis hits, your emotional control responses need to be automatic. The second category is high-pressure negotiations and confrontations. Whether you're negotiating a business deal, handling a workplace conflict, or dealing with aggressive behavior from others, your ability to remain emotionally centered gives you enormous strategic advantages. People reveal their true intentions and limitations when they're emotionally activated, but they can only take advantage of your emotional reactions if you have them. The key to negotiation emotional mastery is separating your ego from the outcome. When you're emotionally invested in being right, in getting your way, or in proving your point, you become predictable and manipulable. When you can remain detached from any specific outcome while staying committed to your core interests, you become incredibly difficult to manipulate or intimidate. This doesn't mean not caring about the outcome. It means caring more about the process than the result. More about maintaining your integrity than winning the negotiation. More about finding solutions that work for everyone than getting everything you want. The third category is performance under scrutiny. When you're presenting to important audiences, being evaluated for promotions, competing at high levels, or otherwise performing while being watched and judged, emotional control becomes crucial for accessing your full capabilities. Performance anxiety, imposter syndrome, and fear of judgment can completely undermine your actual skills and preparation. The solution is shifting focus from how you're being perceived to how you're serving others. Instead of thinking about whether you look confident, think about how you can provide value to your audience. Instead of worrying about making mistakes, focus on executing the process you've prepared. Instead of trying to impress others, concentrate on being genuinely helpful. The fourth category is dealing with extremely difficult people. Every field has people who are manipulative, aggressive, unreasonable, or emotionally volatile. Your ability to maintain your center while interacting with these individuals determines whether they drain your energy and compromise your effectiveness, or whether you can work with them productively despite their limitations. The key is not taking their behavior personally. Difficult people are usually difficult with everyone, not just you. Their emotional reactions are about their internal state, not about you specifically. When you can see their behavior as information about their stress level, insecurity, or coping skills rather than as personal attacks, you can respond strategically rather than reactively. The fifth category is managing your own success and failure. Both extreme success and extreme failure can trigger powerful emotional responses that lead to poor decisions. Success can trigger arrogance, complacency, or reckless risk-taking. Failure can trigger shame, despair, or the impulse to give up entirely. Emotional mastery means maintaining perspective and emotional equilibrium regardless of external outcomes. Success is information about what worked, not evidence that you're permanently superior. Failure is information about what didn't work, not evidence that you're permanently inadequate. Both are temporary conditions that require appropriate responses rather than emotional reactions. The ultimate high-stakes environment is your own mind during moments of extreme challenge, uncertainty, or change. When everything you've counted on seems to be falling apart. When the future feels completely uncertain. When you're facing losses or changes that challenge your identity and assumptions about how life works. Your relationship with your own thoughts and emotions becomes the most important factor in your ability to navigate the situation successfully. This is where all your emotional mastery training pays off. When external circumstances are chaotic, you become your own source of stability. When others are panicking about the uncertainty, you become comfortable with not knowing. When everyone else is being overwhelmed by the magnitude of the challenge, you break it down into manageable steps and take them one at a time. The goal is not to become someone who never feels the emotional impact of high-stakes situations. The goal is to become someone who can feel that impact fully while choosing responses that serve your long-term interests and values rather than just relieving the immediate emotional pressure. Chapter 15. The compound effect of emotional mastery. Most people dramatically underestimate the long-term impact of emotional control because they only see the immediate effects of individual emotional choices. They see that staying calm during one argument prevented a fight, or that managing anxiety during one presentation led to better performance, or that not reacting to one criticism preserved a relationship. These immediate benefits are significant, but they're nothing compared to the compound effects that build over months, years, and decades. Emotional mastery works like compound interest. Each individual choice to respond, rather than react, seems small in the moment, but these choices accumulate exponentially over time. Every time you choose emotional control, you're not just improving that one situation, you're strengthening neural pathways that make emotional control easier in all future situations. You're building a reputation for reliability and wisdom that creates opportunities. You're developing inner resources that compound and multiply. The first compound effect is relational trust. Every time you remain calm when others expect you to lose control, every time you respond with wisdom when others are being reactive, every time you choose connection over being right, you make deposits in the trust accounts of your relationships. Over time, these deposits create deep reservoirs of trust that become incredibly valuable during difficult periods. People know they can count on you when things get tough. They seek your perspective during challenging decisions. They want you on their team during high-pressure projects. They trust you with their vulnerabilities and their most important concerns. This level of trust opens doors that remain closed to people who are emotionally unpredictable. The second compound effect is reputation and influence. Your emotional patterns become part of your personal brand, often more important than your technical skills or achievements. People remember how you made them feel much more than what you accomplished. When you consistently demonstrate emotional mastery, you develop a reputation as someone who can be trusted with important responsibilities and challenging situations. This reputation creates a positive feedback loop. You get opportunities that require emotional maturity. Successfully handling these opportunities builds your skills and confidence. Your enhanced capabilities lead to even greater opportunities. Over time, you become known as someone who performs well under pressure, who can be counted on during crises, who brings stability to chaotic situations. The third compound effect is decision-making quality. When you're not being driven by emotional reactions, you make consistently better decisions across every area of your life. You choose relationships based on compatibility and shared values rather than intense chemistry that burns out quickly. You make career choices based on long-term growth potential rather than immediate gratification or fear-based security. You invest money based on rational analysis rather than greed or fear. You choose how to spend your time based on your priorities and goals, rather than whatever feels urgent in the moment. You handle conflicts based on what will strengthen relationships, rather than what will make you feel better immediately. These better decisions compound over time into dramatically better life outcomes. The fourth compound effect is stress, resilience, and health benefits. Chronic emotional reactivity creates chronic stress, which has devastating effects on physical and mental health over time. Elevated cortisol levels damage your immune system, impair cognitive function, accelerate aging, and increase risk for virtually every major disease. Chronic stress literally shortens your lifespan. When you master emotional control, you dramatically reduce your stress levels and improve your health outcomes. You sleep better, think more clearly, have more energy, and maintain better physical health. These health benefits compound over decades, potentially adding years to your life and significantly improving the quality of those years. The fifth compound effect is learning acceleration. When you're not constantly dealing with emotional drama and reactivity, you free up enormous amounts of mental and emotional energy that can be redirected toward growth and learning. Instead of spending your energy managing the consequences of emotional reactions, you can invest that energy in developing new skills, pursuing meaningful goals, and expanding your capabilities. Emotional mastery also makes you a better learner by improving your ability to receive feedback, handle criticism, and learn from failures. When you're not defensive or reactive, you can extract lessons from challenging experiences instead of just being traumatized by them. This accelerated learning creates competitive advantages that compound over time. The sixth compound effect is opportunity creation. When you have emotional mastery, you become the kind of person that other high performers want to work with. You get invited to join important projects, teams, and organizations. You become trusted with sensitive information and critical responsibilities. You gain access to networks and relationships that create opportunities for advancement and achievement. These opportunities often lead to more opportunities in an upward spiral of growth and success. Each success builds your confidence and capabilities, making you ready for even greater challenges and opportunities. Over time, you gain access to levels of achievement and influence that seemed impossible when you were still trapped in emotional reactivity. The seventh compound effect is inner peace and life satisfaction. Perhaps most importantly, emotional mastery creates a deep sense of inner peace and life satisfaction that comes from knowing you're living according to your values and responding to life from wisdom rather than fear. You develop an inner stability that's not dependent on external circumstances. This inner peace is not the absence of challenge or difficulty. It's the presence of confidence that you can handle whatever life presents. You know that external circumstances are temporary, but your ability to respond with wisdom and grace is permanent. This creates a quality of life that's available regardless of your circumstances. The ultimate compound effect of emotional mastery is becoming anti-fragile. This means you don't just survive challenges and setbacks. You become stronger because of them. Every difficult situation becomes an opportunity to practice and strengthen your emotional skills. Every person who tries to manipulate or upset you becomes unwitting training for greater mastery. When you reach this level of emotional development, you become virtually unshakable. Not because nothing difficult ever happens to you, but because you have unshakable confidence in your ability to handle whatever does happen. You become a source of strength and stability for others, a person who makes every situation better simply by being present and emotionally centered. This is not just about personal success or achievement, though those will certainly follow. This is about becoming the kind of person who contributes to raising the emotional intelligence and maturity of everyone around you. You become part of the solution to the emotional reactivity and dysfunction that plagues so much of human interaction. The choice is yours. You can continue living at the mercy of your emotional reactions, letting temporary feelings drive permanent decisions, remaining trapped in cycles of regret and limitation. Or you can commit to the patient, consistent practice of emotional mastery and unlock the compound benefits that will transform every aspect of your life. The time to start is now. Not tomorrow when you feel more motivated. Not next week when your schedule is clearer. Not next year when your life is less stressful. Now. Because every day you delay is another day of lost compound interest on the most important investment you can make. The investment in your own emotional development and inner mastery.